The humid air hit me like a wall as I stepped off the plane in Cebu, the Philippines, a place I had dreamed of visiting for years, fueled by glossy travel magazines and carefully curated Instagram feeds. I envisioned myself as a seasoned explorer, ready to uncover hidden gems and capture the essence of this vibrant culture. I had meticulously planned every detail of my trip, from the boutique hotels to the authentic local restaurants I'd booked weeks in advance. I landed in Cebu with a plan, a detailed itinerary etched in my mind, a schedule so rigid it left little room for spontaneity. A foolish one, I see now. A plan built on a foundation of naive expectations and a desire to control an experience that was inherently uncontrollable. I thought I could orchestrate my adventure, cherry-picking the best parts while shielding myself from the messy, unpredictable reality of a new place. I wanted the perfect photo, the perfect story, the perfect vacation, all neatly packaged and ready to be shared with the world. Looking back, I realize how absurd it was to think I could truly experience a culture from behind a lens, from the sterile comfort of a pre-booked tour. My arrival coincided with the Sinulog Festival, a celebration I had specifically timed my trip to witness. I imagined myself perched on a hotel balcony, a safe distance from the throngs of revelers, observing the spectacle with detached amusement. I thought I'd watch Sinulog from a hotel balcony, sipping a cocktail perhaps, while the vibrant chaos unfolded below. I envisioned myself as a privileged spectator, a detached observer documenting the festivities without actually participating, camera in hand, safe and detached, ready to capture the perfect shot, the one that would encapsulate the energy and spirit of Sinulog without requiring me to actually immerse myself in it. I wanted to be a storyteller without becoming part of the story, a witness without being touched by the experience. I believed I could maintain a professional distance, a critical eye, separating myself from the raw, unfiltered emotions of the crowd. I wanted the story without the mess, the vibrant narrative without the sweat, the cultural immersion without the discomfort. I wanted to curate my experience, filtering out anything that didn't fit my preconceived notions of what a perfect vacation should be. I imagined myself returning home with a collection of stunning photographs and insightful observations, a testament to my ability to capture the essence of a foreign culture without ever truly leaving my comfort zone. I wanted to write about the experience, to analyze it, to dissect it, all from a safe distance. The postcard without the sweat, the perfectly framed image, the sanitized version of reality, the souvenir that glossed over the grit and grime of everyday life. I wanted to present a polished, idealized version of my travels, one that would impress my friends and followers without revealing the full, unvarnished truth. I wanted to create a narrative that was both captivating and comfortable, a story that would entertain without challenging my own preconceived notions. The city buzzed below, a hive of activity preparing for the grand celebration. The sounds of drums and chanting rose through the air, a tantalizing invitation to join the festivities. I could feel the energy building, the anticipation palpable even from my elevated vantage point. Alive with color and anticipation. Banners streamed across the streets adorned with vibrant images of Santo Niño, the child Jesus, the patron saint of Cebu. The air crackled with excitement as vendors set up their stalls, preparing to sell everything from street food to religious icons. The city was transforming into a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds, a sensory overload that both intrigued and intimidated me. But I stayed above it all, convinced I could observe without being touched. I told myself I was being responsible, protecting myself from the potential chaos and discomfort of the crowds. I justified my detachment by claiming I needed to maintain a clear perspective, a critical distance, in order to accurately document the event. I was building a wall between myself and the experience, brick by brick, convinced that it was the only way to truly understand what was happening. Vendors set up, their carts overflowing with colorful wares and tempting treats. The aroma of grilled meats and sweet pastries wafted through the air, a symphony of culinary delights. Music drifted up, the rhythmic beat of drums and the melodic strains of traditional instruments, creating a captivating soundtrack to the unfolding spectacle. And I mapped out routes to avoid the chaos, carefully plotting my course through the city, seeking out the quiet streets and hidden alleyways where I could escape the crowds and maintain my carefully constructed sense of control. I identified alternative routes, backup plans, and emergency exits, ensuring that I could always retreat to the safety and comfort of my hotel room if things became too overwhelming. I treated Cebu like a diorama, a miniature world meticulously crafted for my viewing pleasure. I saw it as a static display, a collection of interesting artifacts and cultural curiosities to be admired from a distance. I approached it with the same detached curiosity I might feel in a museum, observing the exhibits without ever truly engaging with them, something to admire from behind glass. A protected, sanitized version of reality, filtered through my own preconceived notions and biases. I was content to observe the world through a window, never truly experiencing the raw, unfiltered emotions of the moment. I was a spectator, not a participant, a voyeur in my own travel adventure. But travel isn't about staying clean, about avoiding the mess and discomfort of the unknown. It's not about maintaining control or adhering to a rigid itinerary. It's not about collecting perfect photos or crafting flawless narratives. It's about letting the world in, about embracing the unexpected, about surrendering to the moment and allowing yourself to be transformed by the experience. It's about connecting with people, about understanding different cultures, about challenging your own preconceived notions and biases. It's about getting your hands dirty, about getting lost in the crowd, about allowing yourself to be swept away by the energy and spirit of a new place. My plans were just walls to keep the real experience out, barriers erected to protect myself from the unknown, from the potential discomfort of stepping outside my comfort zone. They were a shield against the raw, unfiltered emotions of the world, a way to maintain control in a situation that was inherently uncontrollable. They were a testament to my fear of vulnerability, my reluctance to surrender to the moment. The universe, of course, had other ideas. The carefully constructed walls I had built around myself were about to crumble, my meticulously planned itinerary about to be thrown into disarray. The forces of fate were conspiring to disrupt my carefully curated vacation, to force me to confront my own limitations and biases. Real travel isn't about control, about dictating every moment and anticipating every outcome. It's not about adhering to a rigid schedule or ticking off items on a checklist. It's not about forcing an experience to conform to your preconceived notions. It's about surrender, about letting go of your expectations and allowing yourself to be guided by the flow of the moment. It's about embracing the unexpected, about welcoming the challenges and uncertainties that come with exploring a new place. It's about trusting the journey, even when you don't know where it's going to lead. You don't find connection by standing back, by observing from a distance, by maintaining a safe and detached perspective. You don't build relationships by keeping your guard up, by refusing to be vulnerable, by shielding yourself from the emotions of others. You don't understand a culture by reading about it in a book or watching it on television. You find it by diving in, by immersing yourself in the experience, by allowing yourself to be swept away by the energy and spirit of the moment. You build relationships by opening yourself up to others, by sharing your own vulnerabilities, by embracing the messy, unpredictable reality of human connection. You understand a culture by living it, by breathing it, by allowing it to transform you. My defenses were about to be obliterated, my carefully constructed walls about to crumble under the weight of the experience. The universe was about to teach me a valuable lesson about the true meaning of travel, about the importance of surrendering to the moment and embracing the unknown. I was about to learn that the best stories are often the ones you don't plan, the ones that unfold organically when you least expect them. I came to document, to capture the essence of Sinologue through my lens, to tell the story of this vibrant celebration to the world. I arrived with my camera and notebook, ready to record every detail, to analyze every nuance, to dissect every cultural curiosity. I was a journalist, an observer, a storyteller, or so I thought. But I was about to be swept away, carried along by the tide of humanity, lost in the sea of faces, transformed by the energy and spirit of the festival. I was about to become part of the story, a participant in the celebration, a witness to the power of human connection. My role was about to shift from observer to participant, from journalist to reveler. The city was calling, its vibrant energy beckoning me to step outside my comfort zone, to abandon my carefully constructed plans, to surrender to the moment and embrace the unknown. The sounds of music and laughter filled the air, a siren song luring me into the heart of the celebration. The aroma of street food tantalized my senses, a culinary invitation to indulge in the flavors of Cebu. And I was about to answer, to heed the call of the city, to step through the doorway and into the heart of the Sinologue Festival. I was about to abandon my carefully constructed plans, to shed my inhibitions, to surrender to the moment and embrace the unknown. I was about to embark on a journey of self-discovery, a transformation that would challenge my preconceived notions and change my perspective on the world. I thought I was prepared, armed with my guidebook, my camera, and my meticulously planned itinerary. I believed I had anticipated every possible scenario, accounted for every potential challenge, and equipped myself with everything I needed to navigate this foreign land. I was confident in my ability to control the experience, to curate my adventure, to capture the perfect story. I had no idea what was coming, no inkling of the transformative power of the Sinulog Festival, no understanding of the profound impact this experience would have on my life. I was about to be swept away by a force far greater than myself, a force that would challenge my assumptions, break down my defenses, and ultimately change the way I saw the world. The real journey was about to begin. Before the chaos, I tried to understand the why behind Sinulog. It's more than a festival, it's a centuries-old dance prayer, a ritual that predates colonization. The Santo Niño, a gift from Magellan, is at its heart, but the real story is in the people. Sinulog isn't just history, it's resilience. A pre-colonial ritual that absorbed and transformed a foreign faith. Down on the street you feel the living history, grandmothers praying, young men chanting Pit Señor. It's not a reenactment, it's a living, breathing tradition. Sinulog is paradox, devotion and revelry, solemnity and chaos all at once. The real lesson isn't in museums, it's in the pulse of the crowd. It's about community, identity and celebration. To understand Sinulog, you have to feel it, not just read about it. The history is alive and it's everywhere. I arrived at the Sinulog Festival with a carefully constructed plan. I envisioned myself as an observer, a detached documentarian capturing the vibrant energy from a safe distance. I wanted to witness the spectacle, to record the explosion of color and sound, but I intended to remain outside of it all, a respectful outsider looking in. I thought I could maintain this professional distance, this carefully curated aloofness throughout the entire day. I believed I could resist the pull of the crowd, the infectious energy of the celebration. I was determined to be a chronicler, not a participant. The crowd, however, had other plans. It was a living, breathing entity, a swirling mass of humanity that pulsed with an irresistible rhythm. It surged and swayed, pulling everything in its path. The sheer density of bodies was overwhelming, a sea of faces, each one alight with excitement. The music throbbed, a primal beat that resonated deep within my chest. Before I knew it, I was caught in its current, swept along by the tide of revelers. My carefully constructed barriers began to crumble, and then, suddenly, I was face to face with Marco. He was grinning, his face smeared with vibrant paint, a kaleidoscope of colors that mirrored the energy of the festival itself. His eyes sparkled with genuine joy, an invitation to join in the madness. He was the embodiment of the Sinulog spirit, a welcoming beacon in the chaotic sea of celebration. His smile was infectious, disarming my carefully constructed defenses. He was offering lechon, the succulent roasted pig, a centerpiece of Filipino celebrations. The aroma was intoxicating, a savory invitation to indulge. And then a bottle of rum appeared, its dark liquid glinting in the sunlight. He poured a generous shot, the gesture a symbol of hospitality and camaraderie. There was no formal invitation, no elaborate preamble, just pure, unadulterated inclusion. It wasn't a question of whether I wanted to join, it was an assumption that I already belonged. This wasn't a curated experience for tourists. It was a genuine outpouring of Filipino hospitality, a welcoming embrace extended to anyone who crossed their path. His family had claimed a small patch of pavement as their own, a temporary haven amidst the swirling chaos. They were a multi-generational group, grandparents, parents, and children, all united in their celebration of Sinulog. They sat on woven mats, sharing food and stories, their laughter echoing through the crowded streets. They were the heart of the festival, a reminder of the importance of family and community. Laughter and chaos reigned supreme. The air crackled with energy, a symphony of sounds and sights that overwhelmed the senses. Music blared from every direction, drums pounded and whistles shrieked. People danced in the streets, their bodies moving to the infectious rhythm. Children ran wild, their faces painted with vibrant colors, their laughter echoing through the crowd. It was a sensory overload, a beautiful chaotic mess. Before I could even formulate a protest, before I could politely decline, I was handed food and a drink. A steaming parcel of puso, rice wrapped in woven coconut leaves, was pressed into my hand. A shot of rum was thrust my way, the dark liquid sloshing precariously in the small glass. There was no room for hesitation, no time for second guessing. "Eat! Drink! It's Sinulog!" Marco exclaimed, his voice barely audible above the din of the crowd. His words were a command, an invitation, and an explanation all rolled into one. It was a celebration, a time for indulgence, a moment to cast aside inhibitions and embrace the spirit of the festival. I could have retreated. I could have politely excused myself, retreated to the sidelines, and resumed my role as a detached observer. I could have clung to my carefully constructed plan, maintained my professional distance, and avoided the messy, unpredictable reality of the festival. The option was there, a safe and familiar path. But the look in Marco's eyes, that genuine, unfiltered expression of pure welcome, held me captive. It was an invitation to something more, a chance to connect, to experience the festival on a deeper level. His eyes radiated warmth and sincerity, a silent promise of acceptance and belonging. Saying yes, that simple act of acceptance, was the turning point. It was the moment I abandoned my carefully constructed plan. The moment I relinquished my role as an observer and embraced the possibility of becoming a participant. It was a leap of faith, a surrender to the unknown. The wall between observer and participant, that invisible barrier I had so carefully maintained, crumbled into dust. It dissolved in the heat of the celebration, washed away by the tide of music and laughter. The line blurred, then vanished completely. I was no longer just a tourist, a detached observer documenting the spectacle. I was a guest, welcomed into the heart of the celebration, embraced by the warmth and generosity of the Filipino people. I was no longer on the outside looking in. I was part of the story. Soon my face was adorned with vibrant paint, transforming me from a tourist into a participant. Mischievous kids, armed with water pistols, ambushed me with playful sprays, their laughter echoing through the crowd. The initial shock gave way to amusement, and I found myself laughing along with them, embracing the playful chaos of the festival. Laughter was everywhere, infectious and unrestrained. It filled the air, a constant reminder of the joy and celebration that permeated every corner of the festival. It was the soundtrack to the Sinulog experience, a universal language that transcended cultural barriers. The camera, once my most prized possession, suddenly felt useless, a cumbersome object that separated me from the experience. It became a barrier, a filter through which I was observing the world instead of truly experiencing it. The real picture, the true essence of Sinulog, was happening to me, not in front of me. I made a conscious decision to put it away, to silence the lens and open myself up to the moment. I tucked the camera into my bag, a symbolic gesture of surrender and acceptance. I was ready to fully immerse myself in the Sinulog experience, to embrace the chaos and joy without the filter of a lens, and I joined in the dancing. Suddenly, miraculously, I belonged. The feeling was profound, a sense of connection and belonging that transcended cultural differences. I was no longer an outsider looking in. I was part of the collective energy, a thread in the vibrant tapestry of Sinulog. The festival wasn't just something to watch, a spectacle to be observed from a distance. It was something to live, to breathe, to experience with every fiber of my being. It was an invitation to participate, to connect, to become part of something larger than myself. I was welcomed into their circle, embraced by their warmth and generosity, if only for a day. I shared their food, their laughter, and their stories. I was a temporary member of their family, a recipient of their boundless hospitality. The best thing I did, the single decision that transformed my experience, was saying yes. Yes to the food, yes to the drink, yes to the dancing, yes to the connection, yes to the experience. It was a simple word, but it unlocked a world of possibilities. And just like that, with a simple yes, with a willingness to embrace the unknown, I crossed the line. I stepped from the sidelines into the heart of the celebration, from observer to participant, from tourist to guest, and I was forever changed. Once I was in, the festival hit me like a tidal wave. The sound, drums, music, a million voices chanting Pit Señor was a physical force. Colors exploded everywhere. Dancers in neon, feathers, beads, sunlight bouncing off mirrors. The crowd was a living canvas, strangers blessing each other with paint. Smells of grilled meat, candle wax, and sweat filled the air. There was no personal space, only shared joy. The city surrendered to the moment. Everyone was family. High fives, bad dancing, laughter with strangers. The rum helped, but the real intoxication was the energy. For one day, all worries vanished. It was chaos, but the most beautiful kind. I'd never felt more alive. There's no guidebook for this kind of immersion. You learn by doing. First lesson, wear clothes you're willing to ruin. My travel outfit was a lost cause within an hour. Second, learn the language. Pit Señor. It's a greeting, a prayer, a password to connection. Third, say yes. To food, to drinks, to dance circles. Every offer is an invitation to belong. Filipino hospitality is legendary, embrace it. Fourth, let go of the plan. The festival follows its own current. The best moments happen off the map, in alleyways and side streets. Surrender to the flow, don't try to control it. The only thing on the schedule is chaos. The festival isn't about seeing everything, it's about feeling everything. Ditch the itinerary, let the crowd carry you. The rules are simple, get messy, say yes, and let go. That's how you find the heart of Sinulog. monuments, But the true heart of a place, the essence of its culture, can't be found in stone and mortar. The real magic isn't in monuments. It's in the spontaneous interactions, the unexpected encounters, the unscripted moments of human connection that arise when you least expect them. It's an unscripted connection. By letting go of my carefully laid plans, my rigid itinerary, my preconceived notions, I opened myself up to a world of possibilities. By losing my plan, and by shedding my inhibitions, my self-consciousness, my fear of looking foolish, I allowed myself to fully embrace the experience. And my inhibitions, I discovered the true spirit of the festival, the authentic energy of the place, the vibrant pulse of the culture. I found the true vibe. I wasn't just a visitor, an outsider looking in. I was a participant, a part of the collective energy, a temporary member of the community. I wasn't just in Cebu, I was of Cebu, if only for a day. I stopped defining myself by my role, my status, my label. I stopped being a noun, a tourist, and started defining myself by my actions, my experiences, my participation. I became a verb celebrating. The secret to truly experiencing a place isn't in passively observing, in carefully documenting, in maintaining a safe distance. The secret isn't in watching, it's in actively participating and fully immersing yourself, in letting go of your inhibitions and embracing the unknown. It's in joining. That's where the true magic of travel lies, in those fleeting moments of connection, of shared experience, of pure, unadulterated joy. That's where the magic lives. As dusk fell, the energy only grew. The sky blazed orange and purple, parade floats glowed, and the music hit a fever pitch. Our small group merged into a tribe of hundreds, all swept up in a massive street dance. A giant speaker blasted sinulog beats, sacred and profane at once. I danced beside an old woman, both of us grinning, understanding everything without words. Confetti and foam filled the air. A fire truck sprayed the crowd and we ran toward the water, arms wide. All lines blurred, sacred and secular, stranger and friend. We were one body, one voice, one pulse. I wasn't an American in the Philippines, I was just human, celebrating with other humans. The high wasn't from rum, but from pure shared energy. This was the peak experience travelers chase. I found it here, in the glorious, messy heart of the Filipino people. I woke up on a stranger's couch, paint-stained and aching but safe. Marco's grandmother handed me coffee and arroz caldo, laughing at my confusion. I'd been adopted. The party was over, but the hospitality wasn't. The city outside was quiet, streets littered with confetti and memories. I walked back to my hotel changed. Cebu wasn't foreign anymore. I'd left a part of myself here and taken something real in return. Not a souvenir, but a memory of shared humanity. The best travel moments aren't planned. They happen when you let go. The real souvenir is the change inside you. My advice? Ditch the itinerary, pack old clothes, learn to say yes. See the world as people, not just places. Go to the festival, don't just watch. Join. Let it change you. The only journeys that matter are the ones that leave a mark.